Donald Trump's push to fix next year's midterm elections through gerrymandering has just blown up, somewhat literally, and as one senator fears for her life, Trump, as per usual, has run for cover. Anyone looking for him, just follow the smell of the McDonald's. He'll turn up. Welcome to Occupy Democrats. I'm David Reddish. And before I dive into this story, again, we are in the midst of our subscriber drive at the moment, hoping to hit 2 million subscribers by the end of the year. So if you want to help us push back against Trump's crimes and Republican stupidity, hit that button right now. It will let us continue to bring you the news and defend American democracy. Now, on to our story. As you probably know, Donald Trump is terrified of Republicans losing control of Congress next year, as that would, at the very least, mean numerous congressional investigations into his administration, more oversight, and less chance of him passing legislation. As such, he's pressuring red states to change their congressional maps to gerrymander more Republican districts. For more on all that, and how the plot has backfired on him, see our other videos here on the channel. For now, we turn to the state of Indiana, a red state Trump has pressured to redraw its maps, which, thus far, has refused to do so. Here's an overview as to where things stand at the moment.
And this is actually the start of the 2026 session, moved up by a month last week. Now, we're learning that it comes on the heels of a conference call between U.S. Speaker of the House Mike Johnson and Indiana House Republicans. Sources telling us that they had around a 30-minute conversation on Saturday. Well, during the call, the sources say that they talked about redistricting and how critical it is for Republicans to retain control of the House of Representatives in the 2026 midterm elections. This isn't the first time that Washington, D.C. leadership talked with Indiana elected officials about redrawing the congressional map. Vice President J.D. Vance visiting Indianapolis twice, meeting with Governor Mike Braun in August and October. Also in August, President Donald Trump meeting with Indiana House Speaker Todd Huston and Indiana Senate President Pro Tem Rod Bray in the Oval Office. Now, for months, Huston has spoken about having the votes necessary to support Braun's redistricting call. Bray has repeatedly said the Senate does not have the votes to pass redistricting. Trump responding on Truth Social last week saying in part, quote, "I'm glad to hear the Indiana House is stepping up to do the right thing, and I hope the Senate finds the votes." But on Thanksgiving, Trump made another Truth Social post that drew pushback from some of those state senators. The president criticizing Minnesota Governor Tim Walz for the state's handling of immigration, calling the governor an offensive term for people with mental disabilities. Indiana State Senator Mike Bohachik condemned Trump's language, saying on Facebook in part, quote, "Those of you that don't know me or my family might not know that my daughter has Down syndrome. This is not the first time that our president has used these insulting and derogatory references, and his choices of words have consequences. I will be voting no on redistricting."
Oh, it gets even more embarrassing for Trump and even more harrowing for Indiana state politicians. Stay with me here. The fact that the Indiana Senate still refuses to bow to pressure is encouraging. Not every Republican can be bullied into compliance. And in this case, bullying is definitely the word. Now, thanks to Trump's pressure, not to mention his army of online trolls, many of whom possibly come from foreign countries like Russia, one Indiana state senator is fearing for her life. Meet Indiana State Senator Jean Leasing. She's a former farmer and nurse who began a career in Indiana state politics back in 1989. It's safe to say she's well regarded in her state. However, that hasn't stopped Trump's winged monkeys. Late yesterday, Senator Leasing revealed that she was the target of a pipe bomb threat courtesy of Trump's meddling in Indiana politics. The Hill now reports that in a tweet, Leasing revealed that her home was targeted by Trump trolls who threatened her on Saturday night. Quote, "Unfortunately, my house was the target of a pipe bomb threat on Saturday evening," close quote, she wrote on Twitter. Quote, "This is a result of the D.C. political pundits for redistricting. Thanks to the Oldenburg Town Marshal, the Franklin County Sheriff's Office, and the ISP, all is okay," close quote. At the time of this writing, it's not clear if the police found and defused a bomb or if an investigation turned up no trace of explosives at Leasing's home. Lucky for her. In the same post, Senator Leasing vowed that she would not cave in her efforts to oppose Indiana's redistricting. The Hill story goes on to detail how Leasing's bomb threat is just the latest in a series of terrorist threats against Republican lawmakers in Indiana who oppose Trump's redistricting scheme. Multiple Indiana lawmakers were also the subject of swatting calls. That is, where anonymous tips inform police that someone is committing a high crime like gun running, drug trafficking, or child abuse, and police deploy a SWAT team to their home. Innocent people have been shot and killed in such incidents. And that callousness shows how frenzied and violent Trump and his supporters have become in the face of culpability for his policies. Trump doesn't want to be held to account for his actions under any circumstances, which, I don't know about you, but to me that suggests he knows he's broken the law and committed impeachable offenses. See our other videos for more on all of that. Regardless, our hearts go out to Senator Leasing, and politics aside, I have to applaud her for her resolute stance. It's the kind of moral integrity that more American politicians would benefit from. And where Trump is concerned, this is a sign of desperation. He and his diehard cultists know they're running out of time, even with the midterms a year away. So here's a suggestion. Why not try to do something that would endear you and benefit voters rather than focusing so much on yourselves? That just seems logical to me. This is Occupy Democrats.